The lore behind Cave Johnson. In 1943, a young man founded a company called Aperture Fixtures, a company dedicated to the development and creation of shower curtains. Cave Johnson's father had been a farming professor and had developed theories on business which Cave used to further his own endeavours. Thanks to this business knowledge, Cave scored a deal with the United States military and the public to sell his shower curtains, and soon he became a billionaire. Naturally an enthusiastic extrovert, Johnson learned to trust his gut and do what he felt would benefit him in the future. As a natural salesman, he exuded confidence, which in turn resulted in the people around him trusting what he said. With this came power and a sway over people. In 1944, he purchased a huge salt mine in Upper Michigan, whose tunnels expanded 4 kilometers below the surface, where he built testing chambers for his upcoming business. Using his gut, he decided to take a more scientific approach to his company. Although he knew nothing about science, he used his ability to read people to run the company. He renamed his company Aperture Science and began to focus on experimental physics. His aim to become successful again resulted in him ignoring ethical responsibilities that came with working in such a dangerous field. Although well known for his unorthodox methods, his company received an award for Best New Science Company in 1947. By the 1950s, Aperture Science was prospering, and within his testing chambers, which he had named the Aperture Science Enrichment Center, he took an active role in the future success of the company, making voice announcements and creating pre-recorded messages for his test subjects. He even hired an assistant, Carolyn. Everything was going well. With his success, he had a great selection of test subjects, even some consisting of astronauts, Olympians, and war heroes. His most interesting piece of technology in development being the quantum tunneling device that would allow its user to instantly teleport from one place to another. Cave seemingly had a promising future. By the 1960s, his completed products were pulled from the shelves after the discovery of a violation of health and safety regulations. Alongside this, the experiments within the test chambers had resulted in the death and disappearance of many of the subjects. A combination of a lack of income and reduced test subjects resulted in the company beginning to struggle. To combat the discovery of his violation of ethics, he sealed off areas of his test chambers to test in secret. In 1968, the US Senate brought in Cave to explore where his test subjects had gone, noticing a huge amount of disappearances. A combination of the issues over the past decade resulted in Aperture Science having to declare bankruptcy. Cave had to be less selective in his picking of test subjects, and instead of using the likes of war veterans, he had to collect homeless people from the street to participate, paying them up to $120 for their services. Cave's world had changed over a decade, going from an extremely rich leader in the field to a bankrupt, bitter man. His assistant Carolyn helped him cope through these hardships. Cave began to blame Black Mesa, a rival company, for his misfortune, and claimed that they had been stealing his ideas. In a last attempt to reclaim the success he had once had, and with the company in financial turmoil, Johnson believed that mobility gel development would be his saving grace. To create this substance, he required moon rocks. Although only able to afford $7 worth of moon rocks, he went against the advice of his advisors and purchased $70 million worth, trusting his gut, believing this to be the big project. He took an active role in the creation of conversion gel. a gel which allowed any surface it touched to become receptive to his quantum tunneling device. While turning the moon dust into conversion gel, Johnson contracted a severe illness due to his prolonged exposure to the moon dust, which subsequently severely damaged his lungs, resulting in his kidneys beginning to fail. With the company in financial turmoil, his anger turned toward Black Mesa, and in his poor health, Johnson made the decision to make testing mandatory for all Aperture employees, desperate for his financial troubles to improve somehow. This had the opposite effect, as his employee retention dramatically reduced, and so he decided to phase out human testing completely. Aware of his illness getting worse, Johnson created pre-recorded messages to be played over the intercom system of the facility. These messages addressing employees about the future of the company and raging over his imminent demise. In an attempt to cheat death, in 1982, Johnson ordered his engineers and technicians to begin research and development on a computer system that would allow him to transfer his consciousness and live as a computer. He was also aware that this project may not be complete by the time of his death, and so he ordered that if he did die before this, he wanted his loyal assistant, Carolyn, to be uploaded instead, regardless of whether she wanted to or not. In 1988, Cave discovered the multiverse. He also discovered that within the multiverse, his version of Aperture Science was just one of many, and so he created the Extra Earth Outsourcing Initiative, where he would trick other Earths within the multiverse to construct and pay for all future test chambers. Cave shortly died after this, before the construction of the computer system could be completed. Once an ambitious man full of promise and determination, now that all remains are angry pre-recorded messages from a man full of rage over his upcoming demise. Although dead in our universe, he may live on in another, and maybe, within the vast multiverse, he may actually want those damn lemons. Hello Resistance members, thanks so much for watching this lore video on Cave Johnson. What did you think? As always, like, share and subscribe if you found this interesting. Join our Discord. Now, enjoy your day. Bye.